what's up, everyone? My name is Felice Matthew, and this is my wife,
Retta.
And we are starting a podcast called Tilt, which is called
Tuned In Love Talks.
And we're going to be talking about trending topics from a married point of view, a Christian marriage point of view.
We love watching relationship type videos and shows, so I feel like we can give a lot of our feedback because it's something that we enjoy talking about with each other.
Exactly. You ever had one of those moments where you're like, I wish I knew then what I know now?
Yeah.
We kind of want to do that for the marriage community, whether you're young and married, or whether you're single and planning on getting married. We want to kind of give you like how a Christian marriage couple or married couple would see certain topics or certain shows or certain songs or certain news.
And I know it's been a long time that you've been hearing from Felice, and I feel like this would be a good way of getting to know me, because I feel like a lot of the conversations that we have is normally between him and I, and it's most natural for me to have those conversations when it's just us. So I feel like in a setting like this, I can actually have my input, because it would be like me talking to him, but at the same time we have an audience which could also learn something from what we're talking about.
And we're going to be talking about a lot of things. We don't always agree on everything, and you don't have to agree on everything. You only have to agree on the most important aspects of a relationship. This is going to be a good way to see how we handle our differences, what we agree on, and what's really important that you agree on in the first place.
Hopefully you can see more of my personality. I'm going to try to be as natural as possible.
Okay.
And try to ignore the camera. We also want to talk a little bit about us and how we met, because I feel like that would be a good story for you guys to hear. From my perspective, my husband and I, we met back in 2009. It was online. No, we weren't looking. I wasn't looking. He wasn't looking. There was this website that we used back in those days when there was LimeWire and LimeShare and BearShare and Shariza. I used Shariza and LimeWire. And he used BearShare. On BearShare and Shariza, there was a chat feature on there where you could have conversations with people. I never chatted anyone on there. I was mainly going on there just for music, so I can burn some CDs. Sometimes I would update my status on there, and I had a status on there, but I really don't remember what it was about. It was mind-provoking, and my husband, he's the type of person to love, quotes and stuff. So he responded to something that challenged me into us having a conversation or debate going back and forth, but I don't remember what it was about. But anyway, we went on for a while, and he was, interesting to talk to. Before the night was over, he asked me, he was like, can I get your number so we can keep in contact? And I was like, well, I don't know you. I don't talk to strangers. Well, I don't give my information out to strangers, is what I said to him. And he was like, well, I'm not going to call you until you say that it's okay to do so. So that was something that I never heard before. I never heard that from a guy, and I guess it worked. So I gave him my number, and we continued to text each other here and there. At the time that we were texting, I was also talking to someone else at the time. He and I, would just keep in contact. One day he decided to invite me out to this club with him, and he had a friend coming as well. And it so happened that I was going to the same club that weekend, so that same Friday. So we ended up meeting each other. That was the first time we met each other.
I don't remember making a comment about her status, but that's what she remembers. I remember making a comment about the music, because on the website or on the app we use, it would tell you who downloaded the same music. So my wife downloaded a lot of the same music that I did. So that's what I believe sparked the conversation. So you noticed the game though, right? I just want y'all to see the game. I told her I wanted to call her, until it was okay, saying we just text a lot. Aside from that, I think it's pretty accurate. I don't recall asking her to go to the club. I recall me and a homeboy was about to go to the club, and I asked her what she was doing, and she said she was going to the same club.
Yeah, you were like, you want to go to this Caribbean club with me? And I was like, what's the name of it? And you said Lux. I was like, oh, well, we're going there. So then that's how we ended up hanging out. That night, my aunt, my other friends, they were out there too. So we met each other that night. On that night though, when I saw him, he was a cool guy and everything, but he was very goofy. And his style of dressing was not really my type. So when I saw him, I was like, oh yeah, we're just, I was thinking in my head, we're just gonna be friends. And he thought the same thing about me, because he felt like, well, you can say what you thought about me.
I just like feminine women. I like dresses and skirts and, leggings.
So I'm not feminine?
She had some jeans on. Like, to me, jeans are not really feminine. Like, I like dresses and skirts and stuff like that. So she had jeans on, and she was a little bit more serious and mature. I'm goofy and like to have fun, so it just wasn't compatible.
So he did ask me though. He did ask, was I gonna, dance with him? And I kept my word. I was like, okay, sure, I'll dance with you. So then we ended up dancing, and that was that. I remember after that night was done though, he asked what I thought about him, and I was honest. I was like, yeah, you're not my type. And he in return said the same thing to me. Well, you're not my type. I was like, okay, well, I guess we're gonna be friends then. I remember us, texting here and there. My birthday was coming up, and I invited my family, and I just thought any close friends that I had. And for some reason, I guess I felt like he was my close friend. I mean, I can't really remember the aspects of our relationship because it was so long ago, but I feel like he had to have some type of like closeness to me for me to feel like I wanted to invite him over. So I did invite him over for my birthday. And on that night, I saw a more serious side of him. That's when I felt like I was first attracted to him. Actually, I skipped some steps. I remember we actually went on a date before that. I remember he asked me out on a date, and we went to the movies and we had dinner. And I remember on our way to going to dinner, he was like jumping around on the escalator and just doing the most. And I was just like, okay, yeah, definitely not gonna work out. We got to the restaurant and he was still doing the most. Like, the food was nasty, and then he spit it out, and then he scratched his tongue with a spoon. And I was like,
I respect my tongue. You know what I'm saying? It was nasty food, so.
So when he did that, I was like, oh, heck no, yeah, this is definitely not gonna work.
Swag.
I got my phone, I started texting my friend. I was like, you would not believe what's going on. He thought it was rude. He grabbed my phone. I was like, oh, I know you're not gonna grab my phone that I paid for. That probably was our first argument.
Can't really argue.
But I was like, I know you're not grabbing my phone that I paid for. And I was thinking in my head, yeah, we're not gonna work. Like, we're never gonna on another date is what I was thinking. But anyway, we went to the movies after that. While we were at the movies, he was like all up on me, like, resting his head on my shoulders. And I was just like.
She said she was cold. That was that story.
That's what he says.
She's always cold. Yeah.
I maybe was cold, but I don't remember. But I just remember him laying on me, and I was just feeling very uncomfortable. But anyway, that was done. Then we went back to my apartment, and for some reason I was like, hey, you wanna watch some TV with me? I guess it was really weird. I was thinking all those things, but I still was inviting him. I don't know. So anyway, I was like, I just want to watch some TV with me, and he was like, sure. So we were sitting there watching TV, and I turned on Maury, and he was like, you watch Maury? Yeah.
You are not the father. You are the father. You are not the father. You are the father. You are not the father. You are the father. That's all I remember from that.
So he was like, you watch Maury? I'm like, yeah. Maury's like entertaining. So we watched Maury. We watched. We probably watched. I'm not sure if we watched Big Bang Theory that night, but that's one of the shows that I used to watch. There are a few shows that I watched that he was like. But anyway, while we were watching the shows and stuff, he was laying on my legs, like on my lap, and I'm just like, we're not a couple, is what I was thinking in my head. Like, why is he so comfortable? But anyway, that night before he left, I remember did we kiss that night? I feel like we didn't. Oh yeah, we didn't. Fast forward to my party was when I was first attracted to him, and that was actually the first night we kissed.
All right, but yeah, that's pretty much That's pretty much the story. We met online. I know we live in an age now where dating online is the norm, but it wasn't really the norm.
I mean, people did it, but that's not what
it
we were
wasn't.
doing.
It wasn't a huge thing, and that's not what we went on there for. Honestly, it just happened to work out that way. So you never know where love is gonna meet. You never know where love is gonna happen. So years later, through 4 years of long distance marriage, we're still here at year 13, going on 14 next year. And essentially what we want, well, this year, I keep thinking
this year is 14 years in March.
This year will be 14 years in March. And essentially on my side, I know, both of us are passionate about marriage for different reasons. We're even more passionate together, but individually we've been passionate about marriage. My wife's parents have been married 40 years this year. Wow, it's crazy. I don't know how many people y'all know that's been married 40 years, but I don't know many. And for me, I grew up an orphan, and I was really consumed by relationships and marriages because in my mind, I wanted to repopulate like my last name, like my bloodline. So that's why I'm passionate, and that's what really drove my career, my passion. So together, we really just want to see more marriages together. We want to see more kids grow up with both parents in the home, and we want to help create or foster a world where there's more godly parents in the home and kids get to grow up with that benefit. Because as a marriage counselor, I understand that the stats against children that grow up without both parents is ridiculous. Like one stat is they're 2 or 3 times more likely to commit suicide if they don't have both parents growing up in a home. Another stat is 90 to 94% of prisoners that are in the legal system, they didn't come from like both parent homes. So, and those are just 2 shocking ones. There's a lot of stats, and we're really passionate about trying to help create more marriages and trying to help teach more marriages and disciple more marriages. We're really passionate about that.
We knew that, once we decided to become an item, we knew what we wanted. We knew that we wanted to get married, and his focus was to find the love of his life. My focus was for me, I know people date for different reasons, but for me, it was always like every time that I got into a relationship before my husband, my aim was to get married. So if this person, for whatever reason, their mindset was not to get married, then I was not interested. So when I met him, it happened that he also had the same ones where he wanted his lifetime partner. So it kind of made it easy for us. And I mean, we have a lot of time to talk about us and, how things came about for us. And through our videos, you're going to learn a lot more about us. I just want to say that I feel like it would be interesting to just hear things from our perspective and how we look at things. I know there are a lot of videos out there, but what we lack in today's world are the true meaning of marriage. We kind of have lost that. And so this is what we're trying to bring back. Like, it feels like it's so easy now for someone to be like, oh, you know what? Oh, this isn't working, so I'm just gonna go
on to the next one.
Right. Yeah. Marriage is being more and more marriages being treated as just a regular relationship and not a commitment. And that is what we're trying to bring back. Just remind people what the true meaning of marriage is. So that's where we are.
Yep. I talk a lot, so I probably do a lot of the talking and the teaching. And my wife is very, very wise and perceptive, so she brings that to the equation. And she also brings a whole lot of other stuff, but I know she wants to throw some events. We're currently in North Carolina, Charlotte area, and we're going to be throwing some events this year too. We're going to put together that for any local audience. We also want to have fun with this too. We don't just want it to be about us or about teaching. We want it to be about marriage and about how you should view marriage, especially as a Christian, if you're trying to have marriage last forever. So
we hope that with this video, you have learned a little bit about us and who we are.
Well, we hope that we're beneficial. We hope that we bring value to y'all. We hope that we help husbands understand their role better and to be better husbands, God-fearing husbands. And we hope that we help wives understand, how to be a Proverbs 31 woman. All we're trying to do, y'all, is serve. We don't have it all figured out. We're not perfect. Our marriage isn't perfect, but I don't think you have to be perfect to be able to give some advice, some godly advice, that's going to restore marriages. So reach out to us. Let us know what you want us to talk about, what you're interested in hearing about, and we'll do some videos on it.
Yep.
And you're watching Tilt. Tuned in Love Talks.
All right, bye.